Big wise, good money shit, man. Wick is lit, coming soon. We out here in Cali vibing, no jumper, man, you know? Go with him.
That be going crazy.
I know I be trolling. I'm gonna show you how to troll though. Come on.
That nigga dead, nobody care about what he did or what he said. Man, his homie killing ants, but shit, at least them niggas slid. I can't tell you what I did, no cap, cause most of them niggas dead. I can't tell you what I did, cause I'll probably be in the feds, gang shit. Better ask about drill wick, I change shit, change whips. Hit a few niggas up with the same blick. I just ran up 30,000 last week, ain't changed fits. When it's violence in my community, you already know they blame wick. Hey, Keno felt that fat couldn't run no more, he thought it was over. 2 Glocks, I'm like 2 pistols, he knew it was a close one. Goofy came my block, he got one off, but now he toasted. Glock 23, I call it tally, cause this bitch a blower. Druid really grew up my overtext and I ignored her. Take pictures with all my fans, fuck that, my supporters. Start my bitch a biz, she scratch off goals and I support her. Call my phone's 100 in, what's the order? Boy, this shit ain't new to me, I've been spending on the ops. Druid, he a bastard, I ain't grow up with a pops. I was out ditching school, testing my accuracy on they block. They say why they call you drills, cause I really been on the lot. Shooters know the shooters, and the killers know the killers. You niggas don't look familiar, I don't know none of you niggas. And I'm jumping out on feet, but caught my first one out the window. And if we ain't DOA him, then he was fighting in a spittle. Seen shit walking down the gun jail, he thought it was over. Melly died, a nigga got hit in his head, but God was over. Rocket had put fin them niggas crazy cause he folded. Ten ain't had to say shit when he got that room, but he told it. Boy, this shit ain't new to me, I've been spending on the ops. You niggas ain't kill shit videos, the only thing you drop. I'm a low-end terrorist, I really spit every block. Call me Druid Osama, I done went up on all the ops. That nigga dead, nobody care about what he did or what he said. Man, his homie killing ants, but shit, at least them niggas slid. I can't tell you what I did, no cap, cause most of them niggas dead. I can't tell you what I did, cause I'll probably be in the feds.
I've been driving a cab here for 30 years, and I'm telling you, you don't walk around here at night. Yes, sir. It'll kill you and strip you in 10 seconds flat.
I'm a trophy round this bitch, nigga. They call me big homie. Master level, bro, you drop me, you get like 10 bodies. Payroll let you celebrate it. Gonna be his 10 body. Undefeated heavyweight, nigga, I think I'm big baby. Half a brick, slapped it all grams, these horns go crazy. Slap his bitch, knock down his man, Javante Davis. We hang niggas, cab the clan, come get your shit painted. Drop bodies and bags to plan, ain't nothing gon' change me. Rambo, I stand on my name, they know I pop shit. Dirty choppers at my mama house, she know we drop shit. Get in those streets, take will come with it. You bet not snitch, we slump shit everywhere in my city. I cannot flip. In the cell, 8 with his mans looking at his portrait. Like, damn, cuz, what happened to him? I know you salty. Sugar turn to shit, you get static with your partner. They start scratching with some pits. He can't shake up out that coffin. They was calling, trying to squash it. Don't want war with us. Mama house blew up. Dude got his noodle touched. At Geno's, caught him lacking. Took my 40, smacked him up. Man, y'all lucky we is on camera, I'd have built your ass up. We started stepping around this bitch, I bet they vouch for it. Little niggas look up to me, don't know we dropped they big homies. Out of town hunt niggas, I always got my stick on me. I took a life when niggas took some shit from me. Gashes moving silence, we don't post nothing. I promote violence, they go smoke some. Shit King Neal, with an AR Gillos and go post up. My baby 24, R.I.P. Kobe, he gon' show up. Sit you next to Kobe, brother, then scratch off doing donuts. Let Giants sleep. Why y'all won't come fuck with me? These niggas spinning around, think they tough as me. Shooting shit from up the street. How could you ever think that you had nuts like these? Gonna be another chapter in our killing spree. Payroll, how you catch me, bro? You go crazy, I'm still stepping though. Smack this shit with hollers back to back and watch this head come off. 19, he got bodies, a real gangster. Gang, I'm vouching for him. They know my name, I threw this bitch for crushing shit. I ain't no local joke. Drop me, you gon' die. Bet my brother smoking shit, one of them niggas. Know my son gon' be a main character with his switch complete, not mission. You ain't right about your brother, but if I smack one of your bitches on camera, your pussy ass probably be laying in my bushes. We stay dangerous when in the chamber, bro. My mama raised a gangster. I'ma die dying. They gon' have my funeral at a stadium. It's us or y'all. I don't trust a soul. My city small, everybody related. Got cousins and brothers we don't know about. Lot of niggas getting money, I don't matter. Killers control the clout. I had static with millionaires when I was worth an ounce, couldn't get me dropped. I still got my glizzy out. Jumping, I'll be getting down. We hit the whole city with choppers, don't come through here. Playing around, my papa shot my daddy, cuz it's in my blood, just slain his arm. Long way from 8 balls, all that money gon' put us over the top. If you ain't CAB, you a op. That's just how we rock, race killers in the ghetto. Call out of town, they come through, pop your top, nigga. You a op. That's just how we rock right.
Is it crazy I'm praying for heads? Is it crazy I'm praying for heads? I was taking on 7 to death, nigga. Is it crazy I'm praying for heads? Grown hoes even know I'm that. I could've had these hoes doing the same shit even if twin was fat. Pop out less than he seen was best. Hop out, we tryna catch the hat. New gen, this bitch stole with a back. I'm little but dog in a TRX. I want your head, I don't want sex. T-Y finna drop me a check. I'm gifted, I'm already knowing I'm next. He shifty, he played it foul tech. Blur, that is a switch on the back. I'm already knowing your bitch attached. Pop out, I'm tryna get that snatch. It's 3 in the morning, we dressed in black. Up in them niggas staking patch. Post in the front, we gon' come from the back. Just me and Lil Noah, 200-300 blacks. How the fuck I'm up off lean with Jack? Shorty try to call for backup, need his backup. I'm getting headaches from death. Nigga better not even act up. Get his ass clapped up, you ready to kill yourself, no bout. 0617 to death, long live my brothers, nigga. Free my brothers, nigga. Snatch gang shit, you know what the fuck going on, nigga. How the fuck you gon' win if you keep hating on another nigga, man? No bout. Is it crazy I'm praying for heads? Grown hoes even know I'm that. I could've had these hoes doing the same shit even if twin was fat. Pop out less than he seen was best. Hop out, we tryna catch the hat. New gen, this bitch stole with a back. I'm little but dog in a TRX. I want your head, I don't want sex. T-Y finna drop me a check. I'm gifted, I'm already knowing I'm next. He shifty, he played it foul tech. Blur, that is a switch on the back. I'm already knowing your bitch attached. Pop out, I'm tryna get that snatch. It's 3 in the morning, we dressed in black. Even this man little bitch, she know I'm him. I pop outside, I'm fresh as hell. With a Michael Drake, you know I'm trim. Don't shoot from deep, get close to him. Bell out switch, you know my name. Psycho gang, this is what I claim. Goofy up, not on the thing. Has to be chased, we switching lanes. Dog on the track, all in the rain. See the ops, I let off flames. Got to the scene, they see in his brain. Scratch off quick, don't see no face. She on my dick, bitch, give me space. Ran a scat, who tryna race? Fuck up the dicks and change the plate. Money and money, that's all I know. Fuck T.Y., we took his pole. Love my bitch, cause she a toe. Glock 23 up in the go. He made that move, we took his soul. Bella, bitch, I throw so gold. Don't sneak this shit, just say it smoke. Is it crazy I'm praying for heads? Grown hoes even know I'm that. I could've had these hoes doing the same shit even if twin was fat. Pop out less than he seen was best. Hop out, we tryna catch the hat. New gen, this bitch stole with a back. I'm little but dog in a TRX. I want your head, I don't want sex. T.Y. finna drop me a check. I'm gifted, I'm already knowing I'm next. He shifty, he played it foul tech. Blur, that is a switch on the back. I'm already knowing your bitch attached. Pop out, I'm tryna get that snatch. It's 3 in the morning, we dressed in black.
Yeah, it's just lose visuals or no visuals, you hear me?
Hey, you turn off all the lights, I bet my chain glow. These bitches ain't shit, me and my brother fuck the same hoes. I know a killer got too big head, he got his brains blowed. Been through so much, but shit, it's hard to let that pain show. These niggas shooting, they killing kids, watch what you aim for. We been through hell and back. I could be broke without a dollar, I won't sell a strap. I can't blame nobody for my problems, we was selling crack. I'ma do anything for this cheese, but I won't never rap. Yeah, that's a fact. Catch a op, that's a pack. Headshot, that's a hat. 392, that's a scat. Don't talk about no murder. Feds hot and I won't never ask. Don't care if you ain't driving, you catch the ops, little bro, you better crash. You would think we airport security, where we check a bag. I promise I'ma give my kids everything I never had. Never mad if you fuck that bitch, cause that little pussy trash. I put LVs on my hoe, now that's expensive bag. If I go broke, grab a Glock, don't forget the mask. I ride and sold dope, I did whatever just to get the cash. My mama told me, baby, slow it down, cause you living fast. And if I be the first to go out, but I won't finish last. That shit you talking about ain't adding up, cause I did the math. I used to watch Big Bro, them had to work, and I hit the stash, and it ain't shit to get a nigga murked. So the street shit ain't for everybody. If you scared, then go to church. Hey. I told my mama she should pray for me. I was showing love, still that niggas that had hate for me. When I went to jail, I already knew that bitch won't wait for me. When I made my bill, 15,000, boy, that's play money. Same niggas used to watch me starve, wanna play from me. My little brother on them oxys hard, he a straight junkie. We don't need no fucking bodyguard. Nigga try to rob, got some shit that knock off body parts, and they hopping out and running up, no shooting out the car. How the fuck you in the fast lane, ain't even got a car? I don't even know what happened. They was asking like, why you got the strap? Ain't you the rapper, right? I was in the trap at night, trying to get my package right. Seal it up, bag it tight. Yeah, she gon' eat this dick, she got an appetite. I'm a 1-and-1, you can't name a nigga I rap like. Nowadays, niggas scared to fight, they quick to grab a pipe. They don't even want no money, niggas just in this shit for bragging rights. Came a long way, now we on top like a satellite. Cuz made a dub off a 9 in the bag of ice. Full speed ahead, I ain't stopping, see we pass the light. Hey man.
bitch. You already know what's going on. Shout out to the real niggas, real bitches, real wag. You did. You know, it's your boy Lowski. You did. Hey, shout out to my boy Armando Lopez. Shout out to my boy My Boss Gang Gang. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my nigga Lil G. We in this bitch, man. Today we're gonna take it out west, man. We're gonna take it out west, man. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna give a special shout out to the Lord of Lords, King Neal Wallace. You know what I'm talking about? And we're gonna get it busting. Folks said he never spoke on Neal on the channel. I mean, for his videos, no. But anytime we say something about the travelers, always speak of King Neal. Because that'd be disrespectful to not speak about the man he mentioned his gang. It's crazy, you know what I'm saying? So, you gotta say, shout out to King Neal. That's all bad. That's all bad. We're gonna go from there. Yeah, that's the video, right?
October 14th.
Goddamn AI video.
1986. Early morning, Chicago's West Side. A man walks out of an all-night mini-mart on Roosevelt Road toward his late model sports car. 30 years old, king of the traveling vice lords, most celebrated gang leader on Chicago's West Side. Two men get out of a parked car. One of them shouts a gang name. Then the shooting starts. 4 shots, head, neck.
That cannot be how King Neal died. Now, for what I was told, you know what I'm saying, King Neal was killed by his best friend. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, like, King Neal got killed. He got backdoored by his best friend. But we gonna find out. But that's what I heard years ago. You know what I'm saying? I heard that from niggas out west.
Shoulder. He doesn't go down. He staggers across that parking lot, shot 4 times, until he reaches a police squad car already rolling in. The store manager runs out, finds him on the ground, asks who did this. The man looks up and says, "The Wade boys did it to me." Then the police arrive. Same question.
Nah. Man, don't try to say King Neal went out like a rat. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. Please don't. I'd rather hear that he got whacked by his best friend. Like,
the Wade boys did it to me. Then the police arrive. Same question. He changes his answer. Says he doesn't know. 3 unknown males, and he'll handle it himself. 6 hours later, Mount Sinai Hospital. King Neal Wallace is gone. He was 30 years old, and he died protecting the code that built him. See, King Neal's story really starts in East Garfield Park. Not the version you see today, not the version the city likes to talk about. The real one, what it actually was, and what was done to it. In 1950, East Garfield Park had over 70,000 residents, working families, churches on every block, a commercial strip on Madison Street they called the Equator of Chicago, restaurants, grocery stores, movie theaters, pharmacies with ice cream counters in the back.
Bro, this is not just me. Like, the screen is moving, right? I'm not the only one seeing that, right?
A whole world, self-contained, breathing. 10 years later, it was already dying, and nobody in power lifted a finger to stop it. Here's how it happened. The federal government builds the Eisenhower Expressway through the 50s, and in doing so, physically tears through the southern end of the neighborhood, displacing families with nowhere to go. White residents leave, the banks follow, redlining kicks in, meaning black families can't get mortgages, can't build equity, can't own what they live in. Absentee landlords buy up the buildings and let them rot while charging the same rent, sometimes higher. Then, April 4th, 1968, Martin Luther King Jr. is assassinated in Memphis, and the west side of Chicago burns.
They burnt
Madison
that shit
Street,
down.
that whole commercial spine, the equator, the heart of the neighborhood, gone. Almost every
did.
business destroyed in
They
the riots that
burnt the
followed.
west side down.
And here's the part that never gets said clearly
Fred
enough.
Hampton.
The city's answer was to
I ain't gonna lie though, folks. Fred Hampton should have knew some backdoor shit going on, boy. Well, y'all got white boys with the Panthers, boy. Y'all should know that shit was dope.
never gets said clearly enough. The city's answer was to bulldoze the ruins and leave the lots empty, not rebuild, demolish, and abandon. By 1970, East Garfield Park had lost its commercial base, its middle class, its tax revenue, and its future.
Bro, this is Dro City. This ain't East Garfield Park.
What was left was poverty so deep it got into the walls of the building.
That's home of the East Side Disciples, man.
Into the options available to every
mean,
child.
that's history, but they ain't got nothing to do with the fuck
By
we talking
2000,
about.
the population had collapsed to just over 20,000, 70,000 to 20,000 in 50 years. That ain't neglect. That's a choice. Now, into this place, April 3rd, 1956. A child is born in Mississippi to Neal Wallace Sr. and a woman named Zeola Thompson.
That ain't out west.
They are part of the Great Migration. Hundreds of thousands of black Southerners who came north chasing the promise of something better. A woman named Zeola Thompson. They are part of the Great Migration. Hundreds of thousands of black Southerners who came north chasing the promise of something better. They land on Chicago's west side. Their son comes up in East Garfield Park during the 60s and 70s. And if you know what that neighborhood was like back then, you already know the options he had. By the late 60s, a young Neal Wallace finds the traveling vice lords. Now the TVLs, and I want you to understand who they were before they were a gang. They started in 1962, a group of boys, mostly 16 years old, hanging around California Avenue and Flournoy Street, right in front of Zion Travelers Church. Thomas Diablo Wells gave them their name. His exact words, and I'm quoting here, were, "From now on, we travelers, and we'll travel anywhere to stomp a motherfucker in the dirt." And real talk.
Nigga, what? Hold the fuck on. We weren't born killers. We were born kids from East Garfield with gloves before guns. Oh, well, that's law. Well, that's vice lord law, ain't it? Oh, crack diamonds. The city forgot about us, so we stitched our own name, traveling vice lords, and we'll travel anywhere to defend it. King Neal Wallace. Bro, get the fuck out of here.
To stomp a motherfucker in the dirt. And real talk, you can't say the message wasn't clear. But here's the detail that matters for what comes later. Thomas Wells, one of the men who founded the Travelers, was himself a former Albany vice lord before he started the group. Keep that name in mind, the Albany Vice Lords, because 24 years after Wells helped build the Travelers, it'll be the Albany Vice Lords who end up pulling the trigger on their own king.
Makes
The
sense.
streets of Chicago have a long memory, and they have a sense of irony that would make a Greek tragedian uncomfortable. Here's something people don't really talk about when they bring up Chicago gang leaders. Most of them, the ones who end up in documentaries, on Wikipedia, painted up on murals. Most of the time, they're remembered for what they wrecked. The bodies, the territory, the weight they pushed. That's the record history ends up keeping. King Neal gets remembered for something else entirely, and that is what makes this story worth telling. Let's go back to the late 60s. Neal Wallace is a teenager in East Garfield Park, running with the traveling vice lords in a neighborhood that by this point has been systematically stripped of every legitimate institution that might have given him a different
this
path.
shit be getting fucked
No
up.
jobs,
Come on, mama.
no investment, no future the city was willing to build for him. What the TVLs had in those early years was something unexpected: baseball. In 1968, the Travelers put together their first team, called themselves the Question Marks. The following year,
yo, tell me, why them niggas got CMG on this shit? Man, I know this can't be real, bro. Is it real? I wanted this shit AI.
called themselves the Question Marks. The following year, 1969, a second team, simply called the Travelers. The teams ran on and off through the 70s, the way most things in that neighborhood ran, held together by will and not much else.
The Question Marks definitely.
Young Neal Wallace comes up in this era in a gang that is playing organized baseball. I want you to sit with that image for a second, because it matters for who he becomes. Through the early 70s, Wallace rises, quietly, consistently. By the mid-70s, TVL oral history.
Man, saying that Wallace rise was crazy. Consistently, constantly. Like, no diddy.
That image for a second, because it matters for who he becomes. Through the early 70s, Wallace rises, quietly, consistently. By the mid-70s, TVL oral history places him as the man who coordinates the expansion of TVL territory into Austin, Division Street, central to Long Avenue. Nobody who was there disputes it. He is not the leader yet, but everyone who matters already knows he will be. Then comes 1980-81. The man running the traveling vice lords, Darius Edwards, known on the streets as Ray Charles, steps down.
Ray Charles.
And the elders of the TVL nation
Crazy
sit down and take a vote. This is not a small thing. The TVLs by this point are one of the most significant gangs on Chicago's west side. Whoever gets that chair inherits serious responsibility and serious danger.
It's T-Num, boy. That's
the
T-Num
elders,
in the 90s.
Men who had built this thing from a group of teenagers in front of a church on Flournoy Street, choose Neal Wallace in his mid-20s because of his leadership, because of his charisma, because according to every account that exists, he was simply the best man in the room. They gave him 2 titles, King of Kings, Lord of Lords. Now, here is where I need you to pay attention, because this is the part of King Neal's story that I genuinely cannot explain away and don't want to. Wallace takes power and does something no Chicago gang leader of his generation does. He builds, not territory, not a drug operation, though that exists too. Let's not pretend otherwise. The TVLs under King Neal were still a street organization operating outside the law. People were hurt, corners were controlled. That is part of this story too. But what he builds on top of that, that is what nobody expected. He brings hip-hop to East Garfield Park at a time when it had barely touched mainstream radio. When most record stores...
That's the Bronx. But don't be throwing this shit on us. I know dirty-ass Bronx niggas when I see it.
Park at a time when it had barely touched mainstream radio. When most record stores on the west side weren't stocking it. When nobody in the industry was sure it would last. He opens a record store and a game room. He holds breakdancing competitions. In 1984 Chicago, think about what that means. He runs a free breakfast program on California Avenue. He tells his members, and this one still gets me, he tells the traveling vice lords to stay in school, to get college degrees, and to pursue entrepreneurship.
Yeah, that's why they killed him right there. They don't like the positive niggas. Yeah, boy, you see Larry still in jail. Yeah, boy, that positive shit get you pushing daisies, boy.
A gang leader, running a breakfast program and preaching higher education on the west side of Chicago in the early 80s, while simultaneously being the king of kings of one of the city's most powerful street organizations. And then, 1984, he takes those two baseball teams, the Question Marks and the Travelers,
boys gotta
and
do it.
unifies them into a single squad. California Gold, named for California Avenue, the street that built the TVLs, and the gold they wore alongside the black.
They vice lords.
He puts Andrew Bay Patterson in charge of it, specifically because Bay is looking for a way to keep young travelers off the corners. California Gold eventually competes in the USSSA Championship in La Crosse, Wisconsin in 1992.
This nigga made a fucking baseball team. Well, I've never heard this story in Neal. Yeah, oral history, I heard that, bro. It kind of fucked me up. I ain't want to, you know. He should just say word of mouth, but it is an AI. AI don't know what's Diddy and what's not. Yeah, we don't did. We footwork on the boss. That's probably what he meant by that. That way he probably talking about footworking, bro. We don't do that breakdance shit. Even in the 80s, we was footworking. You know what I'm saying? But on some shit, it is no travelers out south. We only have some C's. You know what I'm saying? We got some C's on 87. We got C's on 74th. And we got C's on 76. Cottage Grove, 75th, Maryland, Ellis, them blocks right there. But no T's. Only travelers out west. Traveling, they out west. Ain't no travelers out south.
6 years after their king is already dead. So here's the question I keep coming back to. And I want you to think about it before we get to what happens next.
Well, this nigga, like, he giving us a quiz. A Vice Lord quiz, ain't he? This nigga, y'all trying to, man. Nah, they not T's. They, the fuck are they? They mafias. Niggas mafias over there on 43rd.
Was King Neal genuinely trying to build something different in East Garfield Park?
You said travelers in the hundreds.
To
See, I don't know
understand
about
that
it.
A king
Yeah,
with
see,
a
I don't know
breakfast
about the
program
hundreds.
and a baseball team is harder to kill than
Any
a king
black
who
souls
only
out
has
south?
soldiers?
Not to my knowledge.
Maybe both things are true. Maybe neither fully explains him. What I know is this: the community respected him in a way that had nothing to do with fear. And in that neighborhood, in that era, that was the rarest thing in the world. Remember Thomas Wells, Thomas Diablo Wells.
I ain't gonna lie.
The man who founded.
You can't trust a nigga look like this.
But Thomas Wells, Thomas Diablo Wells.
This nigga don't look like nobody to be trusted. He don't like nobody worth trusting.
Wells, the man who founded the Traveling Vice Lords in 1962. The man whose exact words named the whole organization. Before he built the Travelers, Wells was an Albany Vice Lord. I keep coming back to that because in October of 1986, it is the Albany Vice Lords who come for King Neal. The gang that kills him shares the same founding bloodline as the gang he leads. This isn't a war between strangers.
Hold the fuck on, boy. Hey, dog. Don't that look like Lil Terrell from Trap City? This nigga look like Terrell. And if you close one eye, this look like FBG Cash. I don't know, something tricky, man. Maybe it's just me tripping. I don't know.
Same founding bloodline as the gang he leads. This isn't a war between strangers. This is a family destroying itself over drug money. Chicago will do that to you. Here's how it starts. 1986.
Oh my mama.
Crack
91st.
era
What
is
you got
hitting
this
the
duck
west side
sound?
like a freight train. money everywhere.
Ducktown really
paranoia
87, 80,
everywhere,
really 88.
alliances cracking under the weight
Because
of it all.
91st, that's
Traveling
9-0.
vice lords
Them
and
GDs
the
right
Albany
there.
vice lords get into a dispute over
I ain't
bad
tripping. You do
drug
favor
deals.
cash a little bit, right?
The kind of dispute that in another world gets resolved in a meeting room. In this world, it gets resolved in blood. King Neal's chief enforcer, a man named Jetty Williams, known on the street as Bo Diddley, ends up at the center of it.
I heard of Bo Diddley
Bo
before.
Diddley kills a man from the Albany vice lords, a man they called Lucky. The conflict is now open. Blood has been spilled, and the Albany vice lords want it returned. But the men who ultimately come for King Neal, the Wade brothers, Aaron and Alvin, aren't acting for Lucky. Federal court records are specific about their motive.
Oh no,
Neal
Federal
Wallace
court was
had
like
ordered
told.
the shooting of their brother. This wasn't just gang war. This was personal. King Neal ordered a hit. That order created the men who would kill him. There's a word for that. Several words, actually. None of them are comfortable. October 14th, 1986. Early morning. Wallace, 30 years old, living at 4319 West Thomas Street, goes to an all-night food store at
He was
2950
a low-key
West
low-key
Roosevelt
spot
Road.
too, gang.
Routine stop. Late model sports car
Somebody
parked
definitely
outside.
told.
He comes out of that store and walks across the parking lot. Two men get out of a vehicle. One of them shouts a gang
This
name.
nigga said
Then they
cash
open
time
fire.
trouble.
4
Gee,
shots.
That's
He is
not
hit-
what I'm saying. What I'm saying is them niggas one looked like Taro and one looked like FBG Cash. And the other nigga looked like another nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? That just show you, bro, like, you know, niggas' roots go back. You know what I'm saying?
One of them
We all come from descendants of somebody.
that store and walks across the parking lot. Two men get out of a vehicle. One of them shouts a gang name. Then they open fire. 4 shots.
Ain't gonna lie, these dirty face vice lords is the famous video.
One of them shouts a gang name. Then
These dirty face niggas remind me of any nigga on 5M. Straight deathmatch face.
they open fire. 4 shots. He is hit in the head, the neck, the shoulder. Any one of those could kill a man. Together they should drop him immediately. But Neal Wallace does not drop. He staggers across that parking lot, shot 4 times, until he reaches a police squad car already rolling in on reports of gunfire. The Tribune will later report the responding officers rush him to Mount Sinai Hospital. But before the police reach him, the store manager, a man named Robert Williams, runs outside, finds Wallace on the ground, asks who did this, and Wallace tells him, the Wade boys did it to me. He knows exactly who shot him. He says the name clearly, right there in that parking lot, bleeding out.
But
He
when he
gives
talked
up
to
the
he
truth.
went to the police,
Then
right?
the police officer arrives, leans down,
So he didn't talk to the
asks the
cops.
same question.
Okay.
And King Neal,
Well, he ain't tell the
shot
police
4
that.
times, dying, changes his answer. He tells the officer he does not know who shot him. 3 unknown black males. And then he says the words that I think about every time I come back to this story. He says he will handle the situation
Bro.
himself.
This is Auburn Gresham. This is Auburn Gresham. What the fuck does Auburn Gresham got to do with this story? Fuck if I know. But this is Auburn Gresham.
Shot 4 times, dying in a parking lot on Roosevelt Road. And he is still, in that moment, the king, still running the code, still refusing to give the streets to the police. He named his killers once to a civilian in what the courts would later call an excited utterance. Then he swallowed it back down.
No dick.
That second statement, I don't know who did it, was ruled inadmissible at trial. 6 hours later, King Neal Wallace was
Yeah,
pronounced
ain't gonna lie,
dead
they did
at Mount
fuck Neal
Sinai
up.
Hospital Medical Center. He was 30 years old, built everything he built,
He said he was
held everything
basically
he held,
dead, moving off
and was
of drugs.
gone before most
Yeah.
men have figured out what
For
they
sure.
want to do with their lives.
Damn, bro.
6 years. That is how long it takes for anyone to officially answer for the murder of King Neal. 6 years. In a neighborhood where everybody
R.I.P.
knew
Stateway
where
Gardens,
people
by the
were
way.
standing in that parking lot, where the king himself with his last coherent words, named the men who shot him. The code of silence didn't just protect the killers, it buried them so deep that it took until 1992 for Chicago police to make an arrest. 6 years after the shooting, Aaron Wade and his brother Alvin are finally charged with the murder of Neal Wallace. The trial court itself acknowledged the delay. The judge's exact reasoning, preserved in federal court records, attributed the silence to what he called, and I'm quoting directly, the code of silence in the cult of settling these sorts of events. The cult of settling these sorts of events. A sitting judge describing the West Side's street code in open court, and he's not wrong. That code is the same one King Neal invoked when he looked up at that police officer, shot 4 times, and said he didn't know who did it. The code that built him also buried him. The key witness at trial is a woman named Elsie McCoy.
So Neal was
She
going as a rat.
testifies she was present at the shooting. She says Alvin Wade got out of the car first, approached Wallace, started talking, then Aaron Wade stepped out, walked over, and shot King Neal in the head. And the defense goes after her hard. Inconsistencies between her grand jury testimony and her trial testimony. Questions about her motive, whether she's testifying out of justice or out of something more personal. The judge notes the weaknesses, notes the 6-year gap, notes the complications, and still convicts.
Them niggas gonna fuck around
September
and beat that murder.
1993. Aaron Wade, guilty of first-degree murder, 35 years. The Illinois Supreme Court denies his appeal. Alvin Wade also convicted. The Wade boys, as King Neal called them in that parking lot, are going to prison for what they did on Roosevelt Road. Justice came, nearly 7 years late, built on a dying man's retracted accusation and a witness who waited 6 years to speak. Make of that what you will. Now, the legacy. When King Neal died,
that's St. Stephen's, ain't it? Hey, it's crazy because my sister got shot on this block. My sister got shot over there. And the dude she was with got killed.
Now, the legacy. When King Neal died, the title of king died with him. The TVL elders never gave it to anyone else. That tells you something. You don't retire a title like that out of bureaucratic convenience. You retire it because the man who held it
his best
was
friends,
unreplaceable.
I guess he
because
sent
what
the
he
hit.
represented,
He gave
that
that
specific
call.
combination of
Remember,
street
he was the
authority
Albany Vice Lord
and
before he
genuine
was traveling.
community investment, never walked through that door again. For years
so they finna
after
come
his
home?
death, through the late 80s and into the 90s, you could find his name on walls all across East Garfield Park. King Neal, spray paint on brick, the neighborhood's version of a monument. And here's the thing that genuinely fascinates me about his legacy. It's more durable than almost any other Chicago gang leader of his era.
Endurance Index. King Shorty. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. King Shorty didn't have no type of run. Willie Lloyd, he had a decent little run. Larry Hoover, he had a decent little run, kind of. David died and shit just went to shambles. So he really didn't have no run. But, you know what I'm saying, his run he mostly been in jail. Jeff Ford had a nice little run. But he had to share that spot with Mickey Caldwell. You see what I'm saying? Because if you know what you know, shit, if you know what I know, Mickey Caldwell was the face of the 5-pointed star. Even though that Jeff Ford he is Chief Malik, and he is always gonna be head of the Stones. You know what I'm saying? When you think of the 5-point star, you gotta think of Jeff Ford. You know what I'm saying? You gotta think of Jeff Ford. But he shared that spot with Mickey Bull, right? Mickey Bull had the streets on lock, let alone side of him. And then you got to give credit to Mickey Caldwell, because Mickey Caldwell the same one that went to the White House. He was the same one meeting with the president. When it was a meeting and nigga had to be on TV, RIP Mickey Caldwell. He was the one on TV talking to the news. So he was really the mascot of the 5-Pointed Star, and he had the streets. You know what I'm saying? So, out of respect, we should take King Shorty out that bottom, and we should put Mickey Caldwell up there between Larry Hoover and Jeff Ford. My opinion. That's just my opinion. That's just mine. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. When it come to leaders, bro, Mickey Caldwell was somebody, and he died for the principles. Jeff Ford knew the power that Mickey Caldwell had in the streets and politically. So he told him, flip these Cobra Stones. And Mickey said, fuck no. And he died in Auburn Gresham for that. You know what I'm saying? They killed him in Auburn Gresham in Terradome. That's what Mickey Caldwell died at. R.I.P. Mickey Caldwell.
Era. Young travelers today, decades removed from 1986, still know who King Neal was. Meanwhile, ask somebody on the west side today about the leaders who ran the same streets in the same era. Most of those names
that's Larry Hoover.
King Neal's in the same
that's Larry Hoover in the middle.
Era. Most of those names are gone. King Neal's isn't. The man who built California Gold and ran breakdancing competitions in his record store.
Said Don Durkee had the best run. Don Durkee was just
but the streets
he was a puppet master. That's what he was.
Didn't become what he
tried to
respect
the King Shorty, but he wasn't King David.
Block
boss,
West
he wasn't
Flournoy
King
Street,
David. Why King David wasn't
Thomas
up there?
Diablo Wells gathered those teenagers in front of Zion Travelers Church in 1962 and named the Travelers.
They should have.
That block became the focus.
Caldwell had ties to the Italians and all type of kind of shit, for sure.
15 convictions, life sentences for at least 10 people. Then, in 2017, 30 years after King Neal dies in that parking lot, federal investigators launched Operation Shut Travel Down.
That's how you look at it.
50 people charged. Heroin, methamphetamine, cocaine, crack, same block, same gang, same street corner where it all started. The operation.
I was going off the leaders he put up there, but you're right. You would have to put King David, cause this D thing. You know what I'm saying? Damn, bro. What's bro name for? I just said his name, bro. I'm a little tired, y'all. Not King Neal. It would have to go to the other Vice Lord nigga, man. What's his name, bro? The old man, bro. What's his name, bro? I'm tripping. What's folks' name? What? Nigga, I'm not... Nigga, I've been here the whole time, bro. Hey, look, bro. Like I said, my top three will have to be King David, Jeff Ford, Mickey Caldwell. Bro, I guess something probably happened to the internet, but I never went off the stream. My stream's still up. Then I go Larry Hoover. And then, fuck. I forgot his name, bro. He got shot in Douglas Park. Nah. He was, of the Unknowns. I speak about him all the time, bro. I speak about him all the time. But he would have the 5th spot. Because he had the Vice Lords a long time. He had Lord in them a nice long time. No did he?
Designed to destroy. King Neal Wallace is buried at Oak Ridge Glen Oak Cemetery in Hillside, Illinois. Quiet suburb, manicured lawns, a long way from Roosevelt and Sacramento.
Yeah.
He ran a breakfast program. He ran a record store. He held breakdancing competitions when nobody believed hip-hop was going anywhere. He built a baseball team to keep kids off corners. He told his soldiers to go to college. And in a parking lot, shot 4 times and dying, he chose the code over his own life one final time. Was he a king who tried to build something real in a place the city had already decided to abandon? Or was it always going to end there, on that asphalt, in that dark, outside that mini-mart? The corner of California and Flournoy is still there. The walls have been repainted, but everybody who grew up on those blocks still knows the name.
Willie fucking Lloyd. He has the 5th spot. Willie Lloyd, bro. Willie Lloyd. Willie Lloyd. Willie Lloyd. That's my top 5. If y'all got reactions, send it in. If y'all fucking with the content I bring you, hit that super chat at that cash up. Let's get it. R.I.P. Willie Lloyd too.